All right, so what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the official Sound Doctrine YouTube channel, where we spend our time teaching you guys how to be faster and efficient in your recording sessions. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to manually identify the beat so the tempo is locked in with the grid. So as a sound engineer, when I first started, I didn't know anything about locking the tempo with the grid, which caused so many problems, especially when it comes to moving fast and moving efficient. Everything about this channel is going to teach you how to move fast and efficient, because if you're running a studio business, you want to be able to help the artists maximize their time. And a lot of it is dependent on you and how fast you move. This is literally first step I do when I place the instrumental inside of my session. I don't know how you do anything without it. So without further ado, we finna get into this. This is a very important step. It's kind of basic, but a lot of people just don't know it. So I feel the need to show everyone how to do it. So let's head over to Pro Tools so I could teach y'all a thing or two about identifying the beat. Okay, y'all. So now that we're in Pro Tools, I'm just going to run through this real fast. Well, not too fast, but we're going to run through this. I just want to teach y'all how to do this. So if you pay attention to the grid right here, 9 times out of 10, when you import a beat, the session is already default to 120 tempo. So it's rare that you will find you'll have a beat that's 120 already where you don't have to set the tempo. It's like I said, it defaults to 120. And what you want to do is you want to make these grid lines match the tempo of the music, which is what we call identifying the beat. So there's a couple ways to do this. Some people use tap the tempo. Some people use other methods. I use this manual method and it works every time. No hiccups, no mess ups down the line. And I'll show y'all what I mean by mess ups down the line. So first thing you want to do is you want to head over here to this section up here. You want to make sure this conductor man is highlighted. All right. That's going to allow you to manually manually do the tempo or set the tempo. Right. And then next thing you want to do is you want to come over here to this section and you want to make sure tab to transients is highlighted. You can cut it off like this, cut it on like this. And what that allow you to do, I don't know what transient, I don't know if you know what transient mean, but to me, transients are the visual representation of the sound, which is what you see right here. Because obviously these are vocals, but it's not reading words, it's reading sound. So to me, transients are the visual representation of the sound. So when you press tab, it's going to go to the next. If you see this cursor moving, it's going to go to the next identifiable transient. So what I do is I get close to the drop of the beat, which is where the beat drops. And I'm gonna just hit tab until it gets close or smack dab on the kick drum. So that's where the beat drop at. And what you want to do is you want to hit B to split it. So now we got two separate versions or two separate clips. That's what they call clips. So you want to play it and wait for a loop. Sometimes the kick drum hits on the second loop. Sometimes it hit on the third. So it just depends. I'm going to tell y'all what to do though, but let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. So, all right. So we found our loop, and what you want to do is you want to hit tab to get it to the next loop like this. Hit tab till we get to the loop. Boom. So there we go. Now you're gonna hit B again to split that clip so we could actually have this portion separated. What I do to check it is I play it on loop to see if it loops around perfectly. All right, so we got ourselves a nice loop. So the next step you want to do on Windows, you want to hold Control and hit the I button, which is the shortcut for identify beat. Now, like I said, I'm just telling y'all how to do what I do. All right, so start and end. This is kind of like setting the loop, like the start of the loop and where the loop ends at, right? So in the first location, I always hit 1, right? I never deal with the other numbers, just the first location. I only deal with location. If you want to dig into it and learn more about the rest of it, that's on you. I just deal with location. So in the first section, I put 1, and then you can hit tab, 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 right? And since we did a 4 count, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 bar, the next bar is technically 2. So I would put 2 in the next section, right? So we're going to hit OK. And if you now pay attention, the grid lines is lined up to the drops of the beat. So So the grid line is lined up to the beat. So I'm going to undo this and we're going to do it one more time. All right. So you're going to find the first drop by using tab. You hit tab. Okay. We find the first drop. Then you're going to hit B to split the clips. B is shortcut for split on Pro Tools. Boom. So you're going to let it play around for a 4-count loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. 1, 2. All right. So we're going to find where the loop starts over at, right? So you're going to hit tab again until you get to the drop. Then you're going to hit B to split it again. Then you're going to highlight it. You're going to hold Control on Windows and hit I. It's going to bring up this thing that says add bar or beat markers, right? You only want to deal with the first number, which is this number and this number, this number and this number, right? I don't deal with any other numbers. 15 years of doing this, I've never had to deal with any of the other numbers on this portion, okay? So you want to hit 1 for the start of the first loop, right? And then go to the second number and you hit 2. And once you hit OK, it's going to now line the beat up to the grid. So every line is a drop. Okay. So I'm gonna give you one more example, because when you're using the 1 and 2, you can use 1 and 3, you can use 1 and 4. It depends on how the beat is structured, because sometimes on the first loop around, there isn't a kick drum in the middle. So you have to wait until the next one. So we're going to treat this as if there was no kick drum, right? So we're going to find our first drop, which is here. Then we're going to let the beat play around twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1. So let's say we use that second loop, right? You would then highlight it, hit 1, tab, 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 and you would hit 3. All right. Now don't get lost in the sauce. Just hear what I'm telling you. Okay. Now you can do 1 and 2 on. So let's do this, right? So now we did 1 and 3. As you can look, the tempo up here is 63 point whatever, right? So let's undo that, right? And let's do it again. And let's hit 1 and 2. Now you can see the tempo is cut in half. So you really want to pay attention, because let's say 32 and 64 is similar in times. It's just doubled, or, it's just half of each other, which is key to your reverb time and your echo time, because you can have the session set at 31 tempo and the echo will react faster or slower, or you can have it set at 64 and the echo will react faster and slower. So my thing is to find what works for you. For me, and the echoes that I like to use, I always just do 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. Okay, so now we have our first 2 beat markers set, which is cool. Like I said, now that the grid is lined up, every line in the grid is lined up to a drop or a loop in the beat, right? So there's a third step to this, and I want to show you why. So if you go to the beginning of any instrumental MP3, there's always this dead space of air in the beginning of them, and that's going to cause a problem for you down the line. If it's a wave track, there is no space in the beginning. It's always MP3. So if you're downloading the beats from YouTube, you want to check this. You don't even have to check it. It's guaranteed to be there. 15 years and it's always been there. All right, so for this last step, all right, so we identified the first location and the second location. What you want to do is, if we go towards the end of this beat, right? Towards the end, you can see here that the drop isn't lined up with this line, right? And where that causes the problem, if you don't do this third step, as you're furthering or advancing down in your session and you want to loop the hook, it might be slightly off. So to fix this, what you do is you just go here, you hit tab to get to that drop, and then you hit Control I, and you have 48, 4, 9, 32. What you want to do is you want to take this last number and you're going to either round it up or round it down. So 932 would round this 48 up to 49. And what it will do is it will lock in the session from start to end. So you don't have that problem no more. Okay. So now, no matter where I click, the beat is on time. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run through this process one more time, because this is what I do when I teach people. Whenever I'm teaching people how to use Pro Tools, I make them do the things that I'm doing over and over so I can make sure they got it. So I'm gonna do that for y'all real quick. And so let's get rid of these. All right, we're gonna get rid of these. Put the session back in the beginning. We're gonna take away this. All right, boom. So let's just act like we just imported the beat or whatever. Boom. So what you want to do is you want to find your first drop by using tab. If you don't remember, first you got to have this conductor thing, conductor icon highlighted. Then you want to make sure you have tab to transient highlighted. What tab to transient to do, if you hit the tab button, it's going to allow you to move to individual transients within a beat. So we're going to use tab and find our drop, which is here. You're going to hit B to split it. We're going to play the loop around one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, 1. All right. So there's our next drop. You're going to hit tab. We found the drop. You're going to hit B to split it again. You're going to double click it, hold Control I. You're going to hit 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. You go there. Now the grid is lined up again. But remember, MP3 tracks has air in the beginning of it. And what that will do, if you don't deal with this third step, is going to push the session off the grid little bit by little bit as the session go on. So what you want to do is you want to go towards the end of the beat. And if you look here, it's not lined up with the grid. So you want to identify that. You want to split it. You want to hold Control, hit I, and you have to round up. It's 48, 4, 871. I only deal with the last three numbers. The 871 is going to round the first number up to 49. Okay. So I'm going to take that off. So let's say this number was 48 and the last three numbers was 236. That would take the 48 down to 48 flat. Okay. So don't get lost in the sauce. Right. But right now it's 48, 871. So the 871 is going to round up to 49. So you're going to hit 49. And as you can see, the beat is now on time. And what that does is lock the timing of the session and the grid up in sync from start to end. This is really pivotal. Okay. Now, I'm going to do it one more time just to show you exactly how fast I do this in a session, okay? Because I don't want it to seem like it's too long of a process or whatever. You got to get used to doing the shortcuts, man. So like I said, on this channel, I only want to teach y'all how to move fast because that's just one of the things I learned how to do. Like, I always cared about my clients and, you know, they spending $65 an hour, sometimes $100 an hour. Like, you want to make sure they're getting as much work done. So let's just act like we just put our session in. So this is me. I'm literally fast with like this. Boom. I already know. 2, 3, 4. Boom. Okay, boom. We lock that in. Boom. I already know. Hit 1, tab, tab, tab. 2. So that first portion is set. I zoom out, go to the end. I already see it's not locked in. Hit Control I. I know it's gonna round up to 49. Boom. And I'm done. That didn't take me no time. All right. So that's how to line up the beat with the grid. Okay. Now I'm gonna show y'all why that's important. It's crucial. You have to do it. Do not do no session without doing it, right? So, and I didn't even want to teach this much, but we just gonna do it. We already here, so we gonna do it. Y'all finna get some gems from me for real right now. And I'll do separate videos on some of these steps, but I'm finna give y'all the sauce right now, okay? So just say thank you because you're finna get the sauce. Okay, so one thing about Pro Tools is I had to learn how to master Pro Tools and not let Pro Tools master me. Okay. So over the course of these years, I think I started back in 2010 or something. Always constantly learning how to be better, how to be faster, how to be more efficient, how to be quick, how to take the breaths out fast, how to everything fast. Like, I just want to be fast, without any, I know how to type too. So I don't even got to look at the keyboard most of the time. All right. So, I'm going to just try to teach y'all this the best as I can. Okay. So if you use R, it zooms out. If you use T, it zooms in. I need y'all to focus, okay? And pay attention to what I'm finna teach you because it's important. All right. So everything about Pro Tools and tempo is literally multiples of itself. So 1 bar multiplies to 2. 2 bars can multiply to 4. 4 bars can multiply to 6. So everything is multiples, right? So let's take a look at this portion that I have highlighted right now. This is the hook, okay? This is the chorus. I'm gonna play it a little bit. I love who I am. Look what I become. Let me take the doubles off. I love who I am. Look what I become. 10 years, did it 4 times, then I added on to 1. Still number 1. Still on the run. Long time since that couple great. All right, so almost always the hook is 8 bars, right? And I know this, like, this is one of them things you have to master the program. Don't let the program master you. We know the hook is 8 bars. So without looking, right? Well, I have to look, obviously, but I know for a fact right now at this zoom measure, zooming in, zooming out, the measure that I'm in right now, I can look at this session and tell that 8 bars is 4 blocks. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, without a shadow of a doubt, I can look at this and tell. Okay, now remember we talked about tempo and multiples of numbers, right? So let's say I zoom in 1. Let's zoom in 1 time. Now the same hook is now 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so without looking, I can zoom in again, and it's probably going to be a multiple now. Like, so if we zoom in again, now this is the hook is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, boom, multiples, right? So I say all that to help you focus on what you're doing in this program. So at this zoom pace or this zoom range that I'm in right now, I know 8 bars is representing 4 blocks. So I would automatically know how to count these bars. So right, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So if 4 here equals 8 bars, because the hook is always 8, that would mean 8 bars here represents 16 bars. So that's just a little tip, like something that helps me. Same thing here. I zoomed out one more time. I know the hook is 8 bars. At this measure of zoom that I'm in right now, I know that the hook is 2 blocks, right? 8 bars is 2 blocks at this zoom space that I'm in right now. So we're dealing with multiples, right? So the hook is 8 bars versus the 16. 8 and 8 is 16. So just like here, how 2 blocks represent 8 bars, these 2 blocks will represent 8 bars. 2 more blocks will represent 16 bars, okay? A 12-bar verse at this zoom measure would be 3 blocks, okay? So just try to understand that. Watch this portion of the video back as much as you can. I don't know who can understand it and who can't, but it's just something that I learned over time. All right, so now back to the importance of identifying the beat tempo. One of the main things that artists complain about whenever I deal with new artists is the fact that their engineer took 5 minutes, 10 minutes, looping the chorus, right? And that's only because they don't have the tempo lined up, right? So it's as easy as this. I'm gonna take both of these off. I take these hooks off. And because I have this beat lined up to the grid, from here to here is similar in time. So all I have to do is highlight from space to space, from here to here, and duplicate it twice, and the hook is perfectly on beat. I love who I am. Every time. It don't matter what I'm doing, okay? I'm gonna just show y'all one more time. I highlight from, let's do it this way. We highlight from start point to end point where you wanna loop the beat over, and you just hit Control D to duplicate it. All right, so that's just one way to move the hook faster. It's another way you can do it. You can highlight the hook from start to end. You can hold Alt and drag this over like this. Alt, and anything you highlight copies it when you're dragging it over. So that's 2 ways to move the hook. There's a third, that more advanced way, but I'm gonna show y'all that a little bit later on another video probably. But okay, so now we learn how to loop our hooks. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a certain scenario though, because sometimes, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna extend this out a little bit first, because sometimes you got hooks that start before the actual line. So let's just say there were some vocals right here in this region right here, right? And I wanted to go copy this over. it's not copying the beginning of the hook. It's cutting it off. So what you would do is highlight one line before the hook start. In fact, let me put this marker here just so y'all can see. And put one for the just where we at so y'all can see. All right. So let's say the hook starts here and this hook starts here, but you have hook before this, right? So if you go from line to line, you're going to cut the beginning of that portion off, and you don't want to do that. So what you would do is you would go to the line before it, to the line before the first hook start, and then you'll just duplicate it over, and it has it all to it. Or you can just use this method right here. So you highlight it all, hold Alt, and move this over. So you good. Now another tip up here, if you look to the left, you got grid and relative grid, right? So relative grid keeps whatever you're moving in the time space that it's in, regardless of where you're moving it from. So let's do this. Let's see, I have it on grid right now, right? If I move this over, it's not going to lock into space. It's moving where it wants to move for the most part. But if I put it on relative grid, it's going to stay put where it's supposed to be, okay? So that's just something you want to play with over time. I learned it recently, and I'm just giving y'all a little gem. I love who I am. Look what I become. All right, so key point, lining up the grid makes it 10 times easier to duplicate your hook or fly the hook. A lot of people call it flying the hook. I call it duplicated or moving it, whatever you want to call it. All right, so here's another reason I have to line the grid up on beat. All right, so I'm gonna mute everything real quick. Control M is the shortcut for mute. I'm gonna get rid of this real quick. Yeah, so Control M is shortcut for mute. I only want to leave the lead line on the hook open right now for this next tutorial. So remember we talked about doubles, like the numbers doubling and, you know, being multiples of each other. So you can change the line. You can add more lines to the grid by going up here to this grid section to the left right here. It's this line right here. And you can put it on fourth node or whatever. And you can see more notes, more lines being added to the grid, right? So this becomes helpful when you want to chop vocals. People got plugins and stuff like that, but I never learned that way. So I'm just teaching y'all how I do it. I love who I am. So I love who I am. I can echo this if I wanted to, like this. Cut it, bring it down to the next line. And because I'm on time with the grid, I can't go wrong. I love who I am. I love who I am. Look what I become. Do the same thing for this one. I love who I am. I love who I am. Look what I become. Look what I become. 10 years, did it 4 times. So that's one way. If you want to echo that way, there's 10 million ways to do it. But I personally like to, you know, people like when I chop vocals or whatever the case may be. So what I would do is I love who I am. So let's say I wanted to go like that in the beginning, right? I would make my grid lines a little bit smaller, and I would highlight, and I would just, because the grid is on time, so no matter where you move it, it's gonna be on time. So I love who I am. Okay, so that's simple, man. You know, simple little tip right here. You do it 4 times, group it, fade it in. I love who I am. Let's do look who I become. Let's do that. I'm gonna do the whole thing. Look who I like that. Let's do that. Who I am. Look what I become. Okay. Look what I. So that's just if you want to get freaky with it and chop the vocals up. You know what I mean? Lining up the grid makes all of this possible, man. I love who I am. Look what I become. 10 years. Same thing with the beat. Let's just go to the beat and say we wanted to put a 4 count drop in the beginning of the beat. You would change the size of your grid, copy the beat you want to copy, and paste it. It's that simple, man. So hopefully, y'all watch this video back a couple times, man, because this is years of information compiled into one video, like years of me practicing and learning and mastering this thing. Like I can just do it like the back of my hand. So the key thing I advise everybody to do, and I always tell everybody I teach this, man, don't think or don't learn something and then just think you got it. Like, if I was you watching this video right now, I would learn how to line up the beat and do it all day long until it becomes second nature. Like, most engineers who've been doing this for a long time, some of this stuff is second nature, but we don't even look. We just doing it, and that's my purpose of helping anyone who's watching this video, because I want you to be the best engineer you can be. You know what I'm saying? So if you're faster, if you're fast with moving the program, you have more time to be creative. But if you're spending 10 minutes on looping a hook, or, chopping a vocal or doing anything like that, you killing all the time to be creative for real. So the faster you move, the more creative you get to be with the artist. The more creative you get to add to an artist's music, the more likely they'll become like lifetime clients. And this is just from experience. I don't know who else can attest to that, but it's really experience, man. So I'm gonna show y'all one more reason. So let's look at all right, so we're gonna add a delay here. I already have one here. So every delay track is somehow linked to the tempo of the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see it right here. Like, it's 63 point whatever, but it obviously rounds up to. Now I'm making a video. Just give me like probably, I don't know, like 15 minutes. So yeah, the tempo that I set in the session that I was teaching y'all today is literally here, which is going to help with the timing of your echoes, So let's say I want Grateful for the Sun to echo by itself. All right, so that's a faster one. You can move it over to 1/4. Same thing here. I don't like how I would never use that. It don't sound good, but yeah, so something like this. So yeah, man, some of that stuff is just important, man, And what I was trying to explain in the beginning, right? How 64 and 32 is similar in tempo, just doubled in speed. That would actually affect what the quarter note is, what the fourth note is, what the eighth note is when it comes to the delay. So just do what works for you. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this video was packed with a lot of information that you guys could use. You know what I'm saying? And before I close out this video, I'm gonna do this process one more time, just in case. This is probably my 5th time doing it. You know what I mean? Because this is really important. Like, I wouldn't run another session until I learn how to do this, right? So what you want to do, you're going to import your beat. I'm going to put it on solo. You're going to import your beat and you're going to hit tab. Well, first you want to make sure the conductor is highlighted. You want to make sure tab the transient is highlighted. Tab the transient allows you to hit tab like that. And what you want to do is you want to hit tab, find your first drop, count out your loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1. Boom. So find that drop, hit tab. Hit B to split it, hold control, hit I. Like I said, I've been doing this so long, so I already know. I hit 1, 1, 2, 3, tab, boom. Hit 1 and 2 because my loop was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There was a kick on the next one, so first location, second location, okay? And then you always want to remember, if you download an MP3 beat, it's going to come with air in the beginning of the beat. That air, for what reason, I don't know. If it's a wave file, it doesn't have air. If it's an MP3, it always has air. So don't think you're going to get around it. There's no way around it. Now, what that does, that little bit of air pushes the beat off the grid a little bit later down the line. So what you want to do is go towards the end of the song. You want to find another drop. Let's do a different one. Here go one. So if you zoom in, you'll see that this kick isn't lined up with that grid, which is going to cause you a problem if you don't fix this, because as you're looping the hook down the line, it's slightly shifting off beat. So to fix that, you want to hit tab, get it on that next drop, hit control I, and what you want to do, check out the 48 and check out the 3 numbers on the end. If the 3 numbers on the end is above 500, you're going to round this number up to 49. If the 3 numbers are below 500, you're going to round that number back down to 8, right? But this is up, so we're going to go to 49. And what that's going to do is lock in the grid. The grid is locked in now. And that's all you have to do, man. There's so many things I'm going to teach y'all, so much sauce and tips I want to give y'all, but y'all got to stay tuned and just lock in, man. Subscribe. Like I said, this is years of information crammed into one person. You feel me? And I just think it's about that time that I give back to the community, man. I just want to give back to the world. Like, there's no point in walking around with all this knowledge and not sharing it, not helping someone. I know this video gonna bless somebody because somebody is having a hard time looping their hook. That's just guaranteed. Somebody don't understand the time of the echo. Somebody don't understand something. So if this video blessed you, I need you to hit the like button, and I also need you to subscribe. I'm gonna be doing this every day. I'm new to it, so y'all just have some grace on me for real. And I want to do it my way. I'm doing this my way. You feel me? So good, bad, ugly, improvement, whatever the case may be, I'm going to continue to get better, continue to do this, continue developing and all that stuff like that. But right now, I feel like this was a good video. I feel like somebody's going to be blessed by it. And just remember, like, if you take nothing else from this video, anytime you learn something, not just this, spend time practicing on it, because a lot of people, they'll learn something and they'll just carry on like they got it down pat. Like, people learn how to EQ and they just carry on like they got it. Like, no, keep revisiting EQ. Keep EQ a different voice, EQ a lower voice, EQ a high pitched voice, EQ a wind sound, like EQ everything, so you can actually learn what's going on. Never think you know too much. And just stay tuned, man. Y'all stay blessed. It's your boy Rob the Hitmaker, man. This is the official Sound Doctrine YouTube channel where we just give y'all truth about mixing and mastering and engineering tips and stuff like that, man. We just want to help, man. So like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Rob the Hitmaker, man. I'm checking out, man.